It's a bull. Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Lovely morning underwater, that's for sure. A little cloudy here and stormy. I guess we're getting that dust from the Saharan dust storm. How do you like this? Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I mean, I could just stare at this for hours. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Those are look-down fish. I'm not an expert in fish, but I know a few here. Boy, that looks like a fox face rabbit fish right there. I have one of those in my fish tank. Can't tell for sure. And let me turn the sound off here. Would you believe that this cam has sound? It's a Deerfield Beach underwater cam. If you haven't looked at it, trust me, don't do it if you have anything to do, because you'll be there all day. Whoop, there goes, what was that? I forget what that is. I should know the name. And there's a bunch of cigar-looking things. For a fisherman, you think I'd know more fish names, but I really don't. But look at the water clarity. It's just absolutely gorgeous. God, sorry about that. I don't mean to sit here and just talk about that all day. Let's move along to, what did I do this morning myself? Caught myself a nice little fish. And this is called a Crevalle jack. They're not edible, really. I think some people eat them, but I've talked to people that have tried to eat them and said they're just kind of like terrible. I'm not quite sure why. Muddy tasting fish, no less. A lot of fun to catch. That's about 35 inches. My lure is about 7 inches or so from there to there. That's a popper, and the pliers are a little bit longer. So I got that on a light rod. Had a lot of fun. But what does that have to do with what does that have to do with the show at all, actually? You know, I always like to show you the cool cams here in South Florida when I start this videos in the morning. And what else do I like to do? I talk about fishing a lot, because that's what I like to do. But here, I'm going to move into a saying that I say quite frequently that I have misattributed. Speaking of misattributing sayings and quotes, I think I did one with Thomas Jefferson, a viewer pointed out, and thanks for pointing that out. And in fact, I kind of knew that afterwards, but I wasn't going to reshoot the whole video. I've been in a debate before where that was brought up, and someone said, no, that was not a correct quote by Thomas Jefferson. I think the quote had something to do with bankers taking control of the world. Part of the quote is true, but it's been not entirely all of it, but no less, it kind of nailed exactly what we were talking about in the show the other day. But I do have to be careful of putting quotes out here without fact checking, so I do apologize for that. However, the content was excellent, even if it was misattributed. I misattributed this once to the Bible saying, so relax. I thought maybe Jesus had said this. Shows you I haven't read, well, I've read the Bible before just to understand what's involved and everything, and as a young man too. But I don't know where I thought this was, but it is not. I believe this is a Chinese proverb, if I'm correct, and I use it quite frequently on this show. It's about, my whole intent here is to teach you how to think on your own and teach you to, my specialty, and again, my name is Brian Kuzmar. I'm in Lauderdale by the Sea, have a brick and mortar rare coin and precious metal store, and I've been selling down here for a long time, second generation. My father got in this business in 1972. I got involved with it with him in 1977 when I started working in the summers. And I know this business pretty well, so that's my experience right here. My experience is not in charts. My experience is not in crystal ball predictions. My experience is not in marketing hype. My experience is in buying and selling gold and silver and platinum bars and coins, physical, not paper. And again, I'm not a paper person either, so I can't tell you that's my specialty. And what I've been doing here is I've been trying to teach you, not trying, what am I saying, trying, anyone that listens can learn. I've been teaching you what I know about this business, what I think the best deals are, where I think it's going. Again, I've been in this since 1977, second generation dealer. My experience from all these years of doing this, I'm hoping it will help you. So the saying right here is give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach a man a fish and you feed him for life. And that's my goal, is to teach you how to fish on your own. I don't think I'm going to do these videos forever. At some point I'm going to probably get want to retire or something or do something different. So whatever I can do to teach other people to become better buyers in gold, silver, and platinum, I would love to do that. One of the main things, though, I'd like to point out here is think for yourselves. I like this meme here: challenge the status quo, read analysis, scrutinize, reject the hype, question everything, and seek the truth. And do this on your own. This is all about you learning. This is all about your decisions, using your gut feelings and using what you've learned over the years to become, again, a better buyer and seller in precious metals. Now, I'm not here to teach you how to be a chart reader. I'm not here to teach you, again, how to buy paper derivatives. I'm not here to teach you marketing hype. What I am here to show you, again, what the best deals are out there, maybe what you should look for, and maybe when you shouldn't panic and look at the big picture. If there's one thing you learn from me is don't get caught up into this day-to-day trade. Unless you're a daily trader, and then you certainly wouldn't be listening to this show. You'd be reading charts and you'd be day trading. This is certainly not where I'm coming from. And I'm here just to teach you what the best products are there. Pretty simple stuff. What the best deals are out there. What you should be looking for, what you shouldn't be looking for, and where you should probably get it and where to store it, and some other cool questions. Again, stuff that I have experience with that a lot of people don't, chartists don't, paper people don't. I have great experience in the physical markets, for sure. Well, I sound a little, boy, a lot of memes today. And the other thing is don't just teach your children to read, because I'm sure that you feel, a lot of you out there teach your kids this. You're teaching your kids how to fish. In fact, here's a father teaching his fish, and that looks like Gramps there. That's how I learned to fish too, believe it or not, from my grandfather and my father. I started that show out with showing you a fish I caught on my own. Nobody gave me that fish, which kind of comes in this, but it's really all about learning, thinking for yourself. And again, don't just read stuff. Don't just listen to me. Don't just read stuff and then take it verbatim. Always question what you read. And again, this applies to, I guess, your kids as well. George Carlin, who I happen to be very fond of, he said some very interesting things that have come to pass. But no less, I don't want to digress. No less, I don't want to digress. I'm a poet. Don't just teach your children to read. Teach them to question what they read. Teach them to question everything. That's a George Carlin quote. Agree with 100%. And here, I'm going to teach you something here that I'm pretty much, when it comes to physical metals, buying and selling physical stuff. Now, I'm not talking about trading derivatives. I'm not talking about chart reading and that kind of thing. But when it comes to buying and selling precious metals in bars, if you listen to the reporting and opinion of corporate media, CNBC, Fox Business, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, and all those other talking heads that claim to be experts in all things financials, when it comes to precious metals, you will go broke. There's one thing I can assure you here is in my experience in doing this all these years, following gold prices on a daily basis every day. I'd like to actually go away for 1 month and not look at gold prices, but that's not a reality for me. I've been doing it since I was a kid, 5 days a week, looking at gold and silver prices. I mean, and this is another point what I'm talking about. When you do it for a while, this is when you can step outside the daily trading and the hour to hour. This is when you can step outside yourself, or step outside those days when you wake up like last week and gold's down $100, silver's down $2. You can step outside yourself, and the reason is you can see the big picture. There's another great point I want to make is looking at the big picture, folks, because the big picture is important in the long term. And there's one thing that you're not going to wake up in the morning and hear. You're never going to hear that your gold and silver went bankrupt. You're never going to hear that it absconded and grew legs and ran out of town. You're never going to hear that, well, it's been replaced with cryptos. Especially that, I think, of late. You're just not going to hear that. Gold's been around. Silver's been around. They've been around for 5,000 years as use of money and trade. I'm not quite exactly sure when it happened, but maybe we'll do a history of gold one day show. That would be kind of cool. No less, let's take a look at the prices this morning. As you know, we were down in the low 1760s. There you go, 1760, 768. I'm going to refresh this. It's been about 20 minutes. Let's see where it's gone. This is gone. The coin's at a bull today, so I think when you hit a lucky, the coin, we do the coin for fun every morning. However, I do kind of look like we're going to see an upward market here. Let me just do a quickie refresh here. Let's see where we're at. And down a couple bucks, still up overall. Silver, let's take a look at the ranges over the weekend or last night when it opened. 1767 to 1786. We're currently sitting at 1775. Silver at 25.61, a high at 26.10. We're kind of sitting in that middle, 25.90 right now. And platinum just kind of plodding around in that mid $1,000, 1050 range. So nothing unexpected here by me. In fact, we could still see some monkey hammering. It just depends. There's a lot of things going on out there. You got that Basel III thing coming up at the end of the month. Who knows when and how that played into what's happening now, or if it's even if it's even has anything to do with the market that we're seeing currently right now with these down prices. However, there's one again. Big picture, folks, the macro picture, the big picture, when you step outside all of this, what do I see? I see a great opportunity to buy the dips because, again, gold and silver are not going anywhere. In the long term, they're going to continue to go up and up and up, especially in this debt-rich environment that we live in today, and the lie-ridden environment we live in today, and the hype-driven market we live in today, and the bubble-driven market. I mean, I could go on forever here. Sorry about that. No less, buy the frickin' dips when you can, because this provides a great opportunity. And that's one thing I can tell you. My experience tells me and is screaming at me right now. When you get the opportunity to buy these dips, do it. The idea that gold and silver and precious metals is going to go down because everything is fixed. I did a show on Friday. If you watch Friday's show, that was my thumbnail. Economy fixed. Sell your gold and silver, and that was completely tongue-in-cheek. In case anyone missed it, I don't think you could have if you watched the show. But the point is they fixed nothing, folks. They fixed nothing since 2008. All they've done is taken the giant dam that keeps getting holes in it and putting another Band-Aid on it. They've got a dam made of Band-Aids now, and at some point it's just going to all fly apart. They have to jawbone confidence. They have to jawbone strength. They have to manipulate markets. The Fed does. Central bankers do. They have to. They were in major trouble prior to 2008. I mean, there's big problems out there, folks, and and maybe it's good the whole country doesn't know it at once. Maybe it's good that a small amount of it slowly learn over time that we've been correct and we are correct, and the shit's going to hit the fan at some point. And I hope you're part of that crew, because I am. And I don't believe any of this recovery nonsense. I think the recovery is just simply a rebound from 1 year of complete idiotic closures, killing business, killing the economy. And then on the flip side of that, there's people also that believe that we were in major financial trouble and the economy just provided a good excuse or the closures provided a good excuse to, or they actually closed the economy as an excuse because the stuff was about to hit the fan. I don't know. That's kind of getting into conspiratorial a little bit. However, there's some interesting stuff out there about that. So where are we at right today? We're up from Friday's bounce. We're up from Friday's monkey hammering, Thursday and Friday. And again, all Fed jawbone induced, all bullshit, all probably, and not all probably, none of it was physical. It was all paper, folks, all paper. And again, maybe it has something to do with Basel III, but I kind of doubt it. I think Basel III has already been built into this entire market. Gold market's already been played out. The price has already been done. Basel III, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But there sure feels like there's something something going on out there, and that's my opinion, as I said. Gata.org. All right, for those of you who watch my show all the time, block your ears. I say it all the time, but if you don't have Gata.org on your bookmark bar, then you really have no clue what's going on. Like every other game on earth, Las Vegas, cryptos, equity markets, bond markets, you name it, currency markets, the game is rigged somehow. Now, you may want to call it rigged, but manipulated. And the idea of what Gata.org has done, and if you read the basics here, if you're new to the show, is they explain who the players are, how they do it. And if you're going to go to Las Vegas and you're going to gamble, first off, you want to know how to play the game. Second, if you want to be good, and this applies to buying gold and silver and every other market, you want to know how the game is played, and you want to play it fairly well. There's a certain element of luck. We all know this. The other thing is you want to know who the other players are. You want to know who the whale is out there. You want to know who the big loser is. You also want to know how the casino stacks it against you. And these apply to all markets, including gold and silver, and that's what the basics and Gata.org is good at doing. And again, if you don't know the basics, then you're screwed to lose, that's for sure. Especially if you follow corporate media, if you listen to what they say. Never listen to corporate media when it comes to precious metals. You'll lose all your money. So And that's my opinion. And let's take a look after all that. Let's take a look at today's what articles they have out there. Most of you that have watched my videos here have probably already read this weekend. I point this site out every day, only because, again, I'm trying to teach something here, and a lot of you already know this, but any new people listening, I want to teach them a great place to learn how the game is played, and this is it. Ghana's central bank launches gold purchase program. Kind of cool. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see more countries taking control of their gold purchases rather than let London COMEX rule the entire roost, and we're seeing that more and more. McGuire Hemke, these are all new articles to applaud Wall Street Silver Group of cracking derivative system. That's a video. I didn't really get a chance to watch it. However, these guys do some good videos, so I'll probably watch it when I get a chance. Ronan Manley, Dubai stands its ground against LBMA bullying. Another really good article that talks about how LBMA is trying to set the rules worldwide for gold, and that's the most crooked, in my opinion, the most crooked gold bank in the entire world. In my opinion, is the LMBA next to COMEX. Well, maybe they're both hand in hand running for first place, but the two most crooked places for precious metal trading, COMEX and LMBA, in my opinion. Again, I do understand one thing. I know who the players are. I mean, I know who the casino is, LMBA, COMEX, in that market. We know who the players are. Who have they been? They're the big bankers that go in and trade for the government. And again, you'll learn this on gata.org. However, I don't understand how they play these markets and how they make gold out of paper or paper out of gold. Let's skip that. I hope you guys read that article. Eric Sprott discusses vaccine risk gold smash in Newfoundland. And I'm going to skip reading all this stuff. I'm going to look at this. Charles Hugh Smith is not a gold person or silver person, and actually I'm kind of like a social media friend of his. I've never met the man personally, but I read all his articles. I think he's extremely smart. And let's take a look at his article. Again, not an expert on gold or silver, not even talking about it, not trying to pretend to be, but he brings up some points we made in the Friday's video, and that I like to reiterate that he says so much better. I'm going to read some of this. It's pretty short. The only dynamic that's faintly capitalist about America's crony socialism is that the price of political corruption is still a market. The supposed choice between capitalism and socialism is a useful fabrication masking the world of all possible worlds we inhabit. Capitalism for the powerless and crony socialism for the powerful. Capitalism's primary dynamic are reserved solely for the powerless. A market price of money, capital's exploited potential, free-for-all competition, and creative destruction. The powerful, on the other hand, bask in, and this is kind of what we're looking at right now. I call it crony capitalism. That's my crony capitalism. In the old day meant that you hired your brother or your sister to come. If you became a politician, you gave them all the great jobs and you handed all the contracts to them. Crony capitalism doesn't have to be a family member. It can be someone that donated to your campaign. It can be an industry that you like. It can be an industry that you're in or your family's in. I won't discuss certain politicians when I say that. That's crony capitalism, and that's where we're at today, and it's very, very dangerous. The crony, and here, I'll read what he says here because he says it so much better. The Federal Reserve protects them from market cost of money, and this is true. Financiers and the super wealthy get their money for virtually nothing from the Fed, in virtually unlimited quantities, and the Treasury, Congress, and the executive branch protect them from any losses. Their gains are private, but their losses are transferred to the public. Folks, this is exactly what we got going on in the world right now. I do not love my government right now. I do love my country. I love the people. I love the land. I love so much about, again, this country and its people and its geography. You know me, I love to fish, I love to surf, I open up my shows like this, but when it comes to the government, I'm very disappointed. I am not a red or blue person either. I take sides in neither one of those idiotic parties. Excuse me for saying that. No less, right now what we've got going on there is we've got major crony capitalism. A lot of young folks confuse this with free market capitalism. They confuse this with a republic. A democratic republic. That's not what we've got going on right now, folks, and I hope you all explain this to your kids as well. Wow. Sorry about that. Like I said, I'm glad I don't do a political show. But this all ties in to what we're talking about. In a world like that, do you want to own the Federal Reserve? And again, as he points out here, Charles points out here, The powerful are protected by the government, period, by central banks. They get money for free. And what are they trying? They protect them, then they pass off the losses to us. What are losses? A fiat currency that buys less on a daily basis. That's a loss. Higher taxes. That's a loss for us. Again, loss of our buying power. Two of the biggest things: taxes and the loss of our buying power. That's robbery. That's theft. But meanwhile, they give it to these folks. They give it to the powerful and the elite. So we do not have any longer a free market capitalistic system in the United States. We have a crony capitalistic system, and we've got lots of issues here we need to fix, folks. And wow, like I said, I'm glad I don't do politics, but this all ties into precious metals, because while these folks are trying to get people into fiat and into crypto, into the new Fed cryptos, which I see the writing on the wall, and I have for a long time, I think the Bitcoin and all these type of currencies, we don't know who created them, but I do believe that they were kind of an underhanded way to get the younger generation to accept a new cashless society that they want to move into. And why would I be worried about this? Because look at articles like this in ZH. Elizabeth Warren supports central bank cryptos. Should you be worried? Absolutely. China at this point. Now, where's the other article on China right down here? Bitcoin, Ether tumbles, China crypto crackdowns continues. And what is China crack down? They're cracking down on here. Read this. Oh boy. They're actually cracking down on all cryptos that are private cryptos. Whether it's Ethereum, whether it's Bitcoin, whatever it may be, Dogecoin. They're removing that, and they're trying to introduce their own cryptos, which have a timestamp. They can come and take it away from you anytime, folks. The whole crypto money experiment, in my opinion, was just a big experiment to get, again, the younger generation used to a cashless society and get people used to it. I think it's very dangerous. And we've done whole shows on crypto, so I'm not going to go there, but I don't think it's a good thing. And I think you're going to see more hemorrhaging in cryptos. What else is going on out there? Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? Sorry about that. There's a lot of things to be positive out there. One of the things is go get yourself a fishing pole. That takes your mind off everything. I got into work real early this morning. This was only caught like a couple blocks away from my house. So, well, ZH, not too much in precious metals. A couple articles up here. That's insane. Sorry. What happens if the Reddit crowd ever gets into silver? I read that. I'm not going to read that right now. This is speculating billionaire Paul Tudor Jones. I don't think he's ever probably even looked at the Reddit site before. He's just talking out his ass, in my opinion. But he's a billionaire, so of course he must be right. But the Reddit crowd ever gets into silver. First off, the silver Reddit crowd is into silver. The problem with it, even with the 120,000 members, from what I heard, that's what this article says. Last I read it was like 80, is that there's just not the money in that crowd to do it. For some reason, it's not the same moneyed crowd or the same backing by people with money of the crowd that the GameStop and AMC has seen. And it's a whole different market as well. I don't really see it. But what I do love is I love the Reddit crowd's enthusiasm. When you go out there, you see guys buying all kinds of stuff, posting their buys. So it has brought a lot of attention to silver and gold, which I think is super important and will rise up the price of silver. But Paul Tudor thinking that these guys are going to just jump in and cause the price of silver to double and triple, that's what it kind of basically said. No, I'm sorry, folks, not going to happen. Again, that's my opinion. Funny, didn't we do a video on this last week? Buy when there's blood on the streets. It's almost like Mr. Sprott saw my headline, but I doubt that. I'm just a small-time country precious metal dealer here in South Florida, so I'm sure nobody big is watching me. No less. Buy when there's blood in the street. I said the same thing, but much more simpler than. I like, he kind of explains it more in a technical manner with charts. And you know me, I look at charts, like playing around with them. And my opinion on charts as well is that they are wonderful telling you where you've been. And sometimes that tells you where you're going based on where you've been. However, it only works until it doesn't. And a lot of times it doesn't. One of the things that I concur with this article here that, and I'll click that real quick, that Mr. Sprott brought up, that he felt that there's a head and shoulders, an inverse head and shoulders, and I saw that somewhere else. I did note that on the chart. I was looking at that. We talked about that last week. I pointed that out about a week ago or so, that it looked kind of like a reverse head and shoulders chart that we had going on when we were discussing charts. So I do agree with that. I think my gut feeling and my experience of doing this for so many years and watching gold and silver prices 5 days a week for 40 years or however long it's been, we're in a bull market. You're going to see a lot of choppiness, and you're going to see gold and silver prices absolutely get hammered again by the dips. But we're in a good market, folks, no doubt, and I think we're going to see the returns from that in the next few years for certain. Good returns. And as I said, if you're in precious metals to get rich, if you're into buying gold and silver bars and coins to get rich quick, then you're in the wrong market. You need to go to the crypto market or go to Las Vegas, and you can lose big as well. If you're in this for wealth preservation and to make some money, you're in a great market, folks. Oh boy, let's take a look at yesterday's or Friday's video. And you know what's kind of funny is my favorite number, 333 and 333 right there. Friday's video was about economy fix, sell gold and silver. And again, we discussed that already today a couple times, what Friday's show was about. And I'd like to thank all. I'm going to go over the names real slowly here. I can't say everyone, but I want to thank every one of these folks here for watching the show. Let me see if there's any questions. La 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 la. I don't want to go too fast. I know I make some of you dizzy here. Oh, my coin. Oh, the spinny coin is a stinking lie. Yeah, Friday it said it was a bull, and it certainly wasn't a bull. It's just for fun here. That's the only reason I do it. Although I am a little bit superstitious when I coin sometimes, but it was right for like a couple weeks straight. I got it wrong this week, but it's like charts. They're right to the wrong. It's like a coin. A chart and a coin are just alike. They're right to the wrong. Let's see. Gold is money. Everything else is credit by J.P. Morgan. I agree, Joey from Seattle. Thanks for watching. Again, all you folks here, I appreciate you watching as well. Yes, I do feel the same way. I talked about that. Bitcoin is society's current fiat that is aimed to obsolete traditional banking. It's a rally cry of the people, but gold and silver, well, I think I don't want to get to a cashless society. I kind of discuss it. Thanks for watching, Mr. Monk. I appreciate that. Appreciate everyone that says great video and all that cool stuff. Higher lows for silver and pullback. That's good. Provides the ability to buy. My dream is to have a coin shop in the town I live when I retire in 4 years. Well, oh, you want to retire too? I want to retire in 4 years. I guess you can buy my shop if you still want to work in 5 years. Back in the good old U.S. of America. A wheelbarrow goods cost a wheelbarrow Continentals. That's a good saying, actually. Well, again, I'd like to thank all of you folks. Love the cussing, shows your passion. I am passionate sometimes. I think the cussing just flies out of my mouth, and I got to curtail it, actually. And here, where we go, another video filled with great information. Again, I'd like to thank all you folks for watching. Don't want to spend too much time here because this video is pretty long already. My kitten is a black belt. They're certainly interesting names on YouTube. Those who invest in $1 million in Bitcoin should be worried about the economy fixing. They'll be the ones, as Ralphie would say, fudge. Okay. Thanks for watching, kitten. Is black belt. James Sutton has crypto, and Sanem says money is spiritual. Well, hey, yeah, I'm okay with that. Well, that's really about it. Let's talk about best deals out there. From what I can tell, I don't know what the rest of the week is going to bring, but the best deals out there are any gold products that you can pay less than a $100 premium for, and I want you to stick between 60 and 85 if you can. Try not to pay more than that. Krugerrands are around that $100 plus deal right now. I haven't seen Mexican 50 pesos forever. These British sovereigns are less than a quarter ounce, 0.2354 ounces each. Great deal if you can find them for a fractional gold if you don't have to pay more than a $40 over melt premium, not $40 per ounce, $40 over melt premium. If you can get them for 20 to 30, you're doing great. Same thing with French 20 franc pieces on fractional stuff. As far as the 1 ounce products, the best deals out there are still the bars. You can't beat the bars. Gold Eagles are just too much money. in my opinion, and so are the other products. Even the Krugerrands at 100 to 110 or 115 over spot are too much money in my opinion. And what about silver? Best deal out there right now, I'm going to have to say, is Continental Silver, or what the Constitutional Silver is what the young crowd calls it. And I call it just Junk 90. I'm an old school guy, and it's what we called in the old days. But this is made by the U.S. Mint, the same people that make Silver Eagles, which are 10 to $12 or $9 to $12 over spot, which is ridiculous. Do not buy those, folks. I'm telling you, don't buy them. They're overpriced. But the 90% is made by the same people that made those Eagles. And you can pick it up for, we're selling it in small quantities at spot plus 4 1/4. And in larger quantities, you can buy it for less. Great deal, better than the other products. Next to that, best deal out there is going to be 100-ounce silver bars at spot plus. We got them for spot plus 4 1/4. Again, I can sell them for less if you're buying larger quantities. And as I said, I will always, and one of the big things here, oh, there's some more silver bars. Good deal right now, silver bars and 90%. 1-ounce bars and 10-ounce products are getting harder to find, and the premiums are going up as well. Hope that comes down. As far as me, I sell locally only, folks. So if you live outside my area, you don't live nearby, I don't ship. I can't do online sales. I can't mail anything to you. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I can give you good advice. Go find a good local dealer. And even if you have to drive, even if it's outside your city, your county, and in your state, go find yourself a good local dealer. Because even if you're buying online, you find it much more convenient, and your local dealer is not matching that prices. At some point, you're going to have to sell the stuff, and you're not going to want to ship it. Trust me on this. So go establish a good relationship with some dealer somewhere in your state. Keep that money local. Buy local. Spend it here. Keep it here. I agree with that 100%. As for me, locally, all you local customers listening, I will beat the SD Bullion, JM Bullion, and APMEX Bullion. They're all great online bullion companies. However, I'm up with the times. I'm very competitive, and I will beat their prices locally. So if you live nearby me, there's no reason to buy online. You can come to me, and I'll give you just as good a deal and better advice. Well, I won't say better advice, but I can give you personal advice, unlike them. Well, and there's nothing wrong with those companies, by the way, folks. I have a lot of respect for them. Again, I just really am an advocate of buying local, especially for me. So, well, that's really about it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime at 954-493-8811 between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. Again, if you live in my area, if you don't, please make a comment, and I'll try to answer your questions in the comment section below. I have a hard enough time dealing with my local customers. It's tough to answer some phone calls, folks. Again, if you have, but if you got a real serious question you need to ask me or something, and it involves, your money, which is important to you, I don't mind a call occasionally. So let me not just make that a blanket sweeping statement. Don't call me if you don't live here, because certainly I don't want you to ever lose any money. So feel free to call me on that. Otherwise, try to comment in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer it, especially if it's a technical question or has a question about buying stuff or buying local. Hey, thanks again for watching. Have yourself a great day, and let's see what happens tomorrow. If it dips, buy the dip.